So it seems like someone or a group of devs at the Valve offices were staying late last night as they updated CS2 near 1 a.m. At least from my current knowledge, this is the latest official update I believe Counter-Strike has ever shipped out. Now granted, this wasn't the large update players have been discussing and getting excited about, more so this was just another minor patch. All players, at least at this moment in time, can just assume Valve is needing more time to cook. Maybe devs are waiting for the sticker sale to get removed, which would then lead them to add the first major update of this year, and we can only assume Valve is also going to release Train even sooner since it's now being played even by the pros. Now in other news, Counter-Strike 2's player count is on the rise. Meanwhile, Deadlock, Valve's new baby, is currently dying. Today's video, we're to break down last night's minor patch, discuss CS2 Pro news, and also discuss new rumors going on within the CS community about the possible return of Danger Zone. Now, today's video sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a buying but most notably trading marketplace for all your Counter-Strike needs. Skins Monkey offers a wide variety of skins. Once you find the item you want, hit trade for either items you currently have or for one of many deposit options. You can use my code MANDO for up to a free $5 alongside a 35% deposit bonus. If interested, the link will be in the description down below. Now, firstly, for today's video is a breakdown of last night's blog post. And no, it's nothing special, but it's definitely given some players the idea we're coming in on the final days of bait from the CS devs. Last night's blog post had one category on January 16th at around 1 a.m. Valve updated the Steam libraries for Linux game servers for the latest version of the Steam beta client. Valve improved the Linux game server's ability to reconnect to Steam after a disconnection. And lastly, Valve just added stability improvements. But that last point, I don't know how true that is. Because for whatever reason, whenever I launch Counter-Strike, it sometimes comes up on my second monitor, which is vertical, and the UI gets buggy, and in rare cases, it makes me even have to restart my computer. And this happens, I gotta say, once a week. Not to mention the game, when you change resolutions, change them from full screen window to full screen, or tab out a bunch, it completely crashes your game. So Valve, maybe some improvements there would be awesome, and I know I'm not alone there. With that being said, that pretty much concludes last night's blog post. Now, if you take a look at the blogs of December for CS2, and for the last couple of weeks, compare them to 2023 and early 2024, we're in a very similar situation. You see, on December 13th of 2023, there was no current events going on, nothing going on inside the world of Counter-Strike. CS2's first few months and first couple of months being fully released was happening, and at this point, the game just really needed a bunch of bug fixes, and of course, content. We got the 2024 service medal, and kind of a closed recap summary of that year. But then if you fast forward just a couple more months in February, which is obviously coming up in the next couple of weeks, we got the Call to Arms update, where Valve introduced for the first time ever, you being able to place 5 stickers on a weapon, place them wherever you want. They added gun game, baggage, shoots, the Zeus now had skins, and yeah, that whole bunch. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because the timeline from then and what we're getting now is very similar to 2024. And because of that, we could be counting our days for updates like this. And similar to the Call to Arms, we could get new maps like Lake, modes like retakes, possibly Danger Zone, co-op missions for the Armory, and of course new skins and features like last year. Now speaking of Danger Zone, let's discuss the realm of content and forgotten features from CSGO, that being Danger Zone. Now whether you loved or hated Danger Zone or a lot of the features from CSGO, the fact of the matter is Valve didn't incorporate really any of those inside CS2. It was kind of just the bare bones essentials. I've personally been someone more on the side of this last year, where if you want to play a battle royale, just go play a game of that genre. CS just really isn't that. Yes, we had Danger Zone, which was a battle royale, but it wasn't played much, which is why it wasn't at launch or even being rumored to release anytime soon for Counter-Strike 2. Now we have gotten a few lines of text and game files over the last couple of years, but for the most part, they're just old files, old data mines, and it's really nothing new. Now I would love to be proven wrong to think that Danger Zone is coming soon, but there's a long list and string of problems that people aren't really considering that if Danger Zone released. If we think FPS performance is bad on CS2 matchmaking, Danger Zone will be horrendous, let alone the bugs and cheaters. Maybe it'll come one day, but for some time soon, I don't really know. Counter-Strike 2 desperately needs a bunch of fixes, VAC 3 needs to be fully released, new content, and then maybe we can start worrying about the maps, modes, and features forgotten from CSGO, at least with Danger Zone. But for a quick disclaimer, I'm not hating on anyone who likes Danger Zone or wanted it back to CS2. I kind of just wanted to have a commentary discussion where I'm verbal processing, telling you guys how I feel to see if you feel any similar to that. Because if Danger Zone released, yes, it would be popular and probably fun for the first month or so, but Valve is going to do what Valve normally does with anything new. They're going to forget about it. They're not going to update it, maybe aside from a couple of bug fixes, and in 1 year's time, it's going to have less player count than something like Deadlock. Now, updates aside for today's video, let's quickly discuss CS2's growth, player numbers, and tournaments reaching peak viewers, which is now even more than the Shanghai Major at some points. Now, Counter-Strike 2's player count over the last couple of months has had a steady incline. We've gained a lot more players, and we've only been 60,000 players off in December of 2024 during the Shanghai Major from reaching and beating the all-time high peak player count back when CS2 first released earlier in 2023. Now, almost at any time during the day now, we're seeing over 1 million players on the game, which is amazing. And during its low points when no one's really playing, we're still getting 500,000 or more, which is crazy considering if you look at the player count for the last couple of years, that's much higher. And of course, on the discussion of player count, a viewership record is broken on day 3 of Blast Bounty, according to HLTV. Over 480,000 people tune in concurrently to watch the Imperial female team take on Navi, which we will get to that in a second, but that was awesome. And that's also awesome for Counter-Strike. And speaking of player count is Deadlock. Valve's new title is beginning to look like it's dead in the water. It needs content, life, and something to fresh up the game. And right now, and over the last few months, it just hasn't gotten that. But with how fun and different it is for a MOBA and just something of that nature, if Valve does add content and does bring life back to this game, I'm sure it will return even bigger than it once was. Now, closing today's video in the discussion of Counter-Strike is Imperial Esports. Imperial Esports have recently picked up a female pro CS team, and for what feels like the first time in history, they went up against a tier 1 pro CS team, and for the most part, they actually stood their ground. Even had a few 2000 IQ plays, which makes me think if they can do this with next to zero practice against the best teams in the world, if they were given more opportunities, what could they produce? Now, they ended up losing their match against Navi, but they still had some very solid rounds. They even outsmarted the team, and that was based off the next to zero practice against them. And not to mention, Navi was a top 3 team near the Shanghai Major, and they have some of, if not the best players in the world. At the end of the day, that's pretty awesome. Now, with that being said, that pretty much concludes today's episode of CS2 News, as well as updates for Counter-Strike. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you want to see a return of Danger Zone? And of course, we are going to start streaming on twitch.tv/LukeEatsCS next week, and Mando Monday is also going to return next Monday. Drop a follow on our Twitch if you want to see us live, as well as if you have any questions for Mando Monday, leave them down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.